So what are the topics that we completed until now? Simultaneously, we solved Jan 25 paper, which is the tough paper. People call it as. We solved 80% of the paper just by using 8 chapters. What are the chapters that we completed? Fundamentals is first of all not a chapter number according to me. Okay. NOS we completed. Ethics and terms of engagement we completed in that part 3. Quality control and 220 spending, which we will discuss now. Audit report fully completed, almost some 7-8 standards we covered. CARO reporting we covered. Completion and review we completed. 265 and 450 are still pending, which we need to be discussing. And documentation is over. Different types of entities over. Bank audit is over. What are still left is, even by the way, audit evidence is also over, right? Audit evidence is also over except 530 and 520. Like in exam, what strategy you can follow? Remember, for learning 100% you should learn syllabus. Listening to the class is always 100% because MCQs can be from any chapter. Listening to the classes should be for 100% syllabus. But when you are subsequently reading, don't be moderate in every chapter. Expert in 80% of the syllabus. Average in 20%. All India first rankers interview you see. Don't see anybody else interview. All India first ranker interview you see. He will attempt for 90 marks. And you ask him, he would have not prepared 2 to 3 chapters in every subject. Just closely observe. They don't prepare 2 chapters right away which they feel difficult. They ignore it. But rest of the chapters, they are nook and corner perfect. Any question you ask in nature, objective and scope of audit, they write it with precision. Today you get full marks only when you write complete answer. It's not correct answer which is important, complete answer. Your answer should be complete. Only then you get the marks. Only, and I told you, like many students ask me, again, sir, should I write as it is? I'm unable to recall. Everything is good when I'm listening to the class. I'm unable to recall. Yes or no? This is a normal tendency for everybody. Even for me, if you ask, sir, can you recall NOS objective, all the questions, everything? If you ask me to tell you orally, I can't. But if you ask me any one question, I will try to produce 70% of the content. But if you give me 1.5 day, 2 days time, I will give you reproduction of entire this content. Remember, the skill that you require is not recollecting everything, but retrieving whatever it is asked. There's a difference between recollecting everything, retrieving what is required. We often confuse between our retrieval capability and recollecting capability. No, both are different. Retrieval means what, in the basket, so many fruits are there. Suppose they're asking a particular type of fruit, picking that fruit. Sir, I am unable to hold the entire fruits on hands. You are worried about this versus picking. In exam, what is required for you? Retrieval skill is required. Understood? That retrieval skill, that retrieval ability can be sharpened, can be much more accurate by 2 to 3 revisions. Again, 2 to 3 revisions means 2 to 3 revisions means not like namesake, some care, unintense. No, you have to intensely read. How I revise at the end of every chapter? Intensely I revise, no? That kind of revision. See the marathon, how I revised intensely. No, that intensity focused revision, that kind, if you do 2 to 3 times, 2 minimum intense revisions, 3 if possible, day before exam, mark my word, exam you recollect points like anything, you can retrieve the points like anything. In examination, the skill that is required is retrieval. In exam they don't ask you write full nature, objective and scope of audit, 80 marks weightage. Write full nature, objective and scope. We have some 16-17 concepts. Write all the 16 concepts. They don't ask. You are continuously checking, do I remember all the NOS topics? Do I remember all that? No. Randomly, if you pick one topic, how far you are able to reproduce? Based on the class, you can generally reproduce 30%.
MCQ, you can answer 100%. In MCQ, 100% strike rate is possible. If at all you are tremendously clear in concept. 100% if you are clear in concepts in MCQ, you can have a 100% strike rate. That's why classes, when you're choosing, you have to choose very carefully. Those who really cover 100% nook and corner, perfect 100% syllabus coverage, only that you should choose. Often some students, they ask me, sir, should I go for offline or online? Go where you get the 100%. It's not offline or online also. Go where you get 100% content. You are getting it clear, crisp, 100% proper content in offline. Go there only. You're getting an online, go there only. Or you're unable to only depend on online, then make it complementary to your offline preparation. Online is not a substitute for offline. First point. So I think I answered you regarding your recollectability capability. Every day, 1 or 2 students will message me saying, sir, I'm studying auditing, sir, everything is fantastic, I'm able to understand, but I'm unable to recollect. Then I ask him, what are you trying to recollect? No, sir, whatever I studied, I'm trying to recollect. Do you think in exam they'll ask you entire one particular standard to write? If I ask a particular question, can you answer? They are saying, yes, sir, 50% I can answer. Some students say 60% I can answer. How many revisions you did? No, only one time I did reading, just class is over. I just revised it once. You do 2 to 3 more times reading. The in-depth, intense reading you do. Day before exam, 1.5 day you have time, right? Remember, day before exam, your brain works in a different way. Necessity creates that level of sharpness. Your mind works different day before exam. Try to be healthy on the day. If you fall sick, it will drastically affect your exam performance. But for exceptional cases, those who exceptionally prepared well before exams commenced, they can perform even without that 1.5 day revision. But 90% of the students, exceptionally, they don't prepare. Day before exam, that 1.5 day time is very important for them. So that 1.5 day, your mind works in a very intense of the intense mode. Really, your focus levels will be different. It is not the same. Your focus levels will be extremely different. The focus level day before exam is like when you're watching a movie in an OTT laptop, when you're watching in a movie theater. Do you have the same intensity in both the places? Exactly. Day before exam works like that, because that's the final testing phase that decides whether you have to spend another 4 or 6 months. So your mind works in a different way. Coming to one more thing, mock test is very important, which ICI conducts. Don't worry about how much you are scoring in that. You are writing mock test to know how we are able to handle the paper. That's why you see how ICI is cleverly conducting mock test 1 month before exams. Because you still have time after writing mock test to know where are you exactly lacking so that you can rectify. Correct? Huh? 1 month before ICI exam, mock test will be there. 20 days before, one mock test will be there. So 2 series will be there. Mock test, not model test paper. Now they have given model test papers also. I have given question bank. Every question which is there in the mock test, which is there in the model test paper, is covered in our question. Literally, you don't have to see. Literally, you don't have to see any question bank, any source regarding auditing. This book of 260 pages and that question bank which I'm giving, if you are thorough in these two, mark my word, 80 plus is you will get. See the level of intensity I'm taking the class. Within 60 hours, only question bank we didn't solve. Correct? Only question bank we didn't solve. That also will solve chapter wise. Once we finish entire this, through 2 3 more chapters left, right, we will solve chapter wise question bank. All exceptional questions we will solve. All exceptional questions we will solve. So the point is, just now I showed you one of the toughest exam January, where with 8 chapters preparation, even remember we have not yet covered SQC 220, 265, 450, 530, 520. These were not there in the Jan paper also. Understood? Only with this we were able to answer entire 80% of the paper. 80% of the paper we were able to answer just with these chapters, perfection.
So what I want every one of you 100% perfect in these chapters. You have to be 100% perfect. Whether an MCQ comes or a descriptive paper comes, I don't bother. You have to give you 100% on this. In all these chapters, wherever I'm telling you 100%, 100% accuracy is required. And another chapter I will tell you, audit strategy planning, that is also 100%. You see that's 9 pages the chapter, and you know the weightage 10 marks. Almost in our book, almost more or less every chapter is 10 to 20 pages only. Weightages 260 pages, 11 chapters we have. On an average, weightages on an average each chapter is roughly around 20-25 pages. 22 precisely, 22 23 pages precisely every chapter. But this is very small chapter. Though it is 9 pages, it will have a weightage of 8 to 12 marks. Minimum 8 marks to 12. Then you might immediately get it out. Then why we didn't start at first? Very tough to understand that chapter. Because audit strategy planning program is dependent on understanding of remaining chapter. In exam, they will twist you MCQs like anything. That MCQ you can't answer without understanding the essence. Only if you understand the essence of the topic you can relate. Because in this chapter I will show you, they will give you strategy planning program. This is the actual name of the chapter, audit strategy planning and program. Strategy means what? Planning means what? Program means what? How to develop strategy, how to develop program, how to develop plan. Advantages of strategy, advantages of plan, advantages of program. Almost 70% of the topic is over. But remembering the points, differences between these points, understanding the difference is what important. Because in exam, how they'll ask, which of the following is not a planning? Which of the following is not forming part of an advantage of a strategy? 2 marks MCQ. No matter how level you try to remember, you can't remember because the kind of terminology is so big. Preliminary engagement activity they will use. Getting it? Something. Auditor has to perform procedures as per 220, procedures as per 210, procedures as per so and so standard. Which means if you want to understand that question, 210 must be completed, 220 must be completed. If 220 has to be completed, audit evidence has to be completed. Documentation has to be completed because 220 talks about documentation evidence. So that's the reason why we keep it 8th place. Understood? This chapter, there is always a difference between learning the line, sentence meaning, learning the context. What is important is context is learning. Sentence anybody can do. Even a 10th class student who is moderately good in English, no, he can also come and translate the meaning. Yes or no? It's not audit strategy planning program. What is it dealing with? It is dealing with strategy. It is dealing with planning. It is dealing with program. What? That is not learning. That is not what asked in exam. They'll give you 2 scenarios sometimes. Which of the following is an example of planning? Which of the following is an example of program? They'll give you 4 options. You need to figure out exactly, is it a programmer? Is it a planner? Getting it? Contextual understanding is important. That learning, contextual learning is important. This strategy, remaining chapters were there, right? Risk assessment. You have to be minimum 50% accurate. Items of financials, you have to be minimum 50% accurate. Listening wise, 100%. When you're listening to the class, 100% you should cover always. But subsequent when you're reading, no, that is for descriptive purpose. Revisions are for what? Descriptive purpose. First revision is for MCQ and descriptive. Second and third revision is for descriptive purpose, not for MCQ. MCQs you should be able to answer 99% after completing the class itself. If you are unable to answer MCQs after completing the class, I'm telling you, your class might be ineffective. Either you listened to class ineffectively or the faculty has taught you ineffectively. To any of these 2 conclusions. That's why always once listen the class, do one solid intense revision. Then you go and open practice MCQs. Second and third revision time, these 2 topics you can keep it at last priority. In the CA Enter audit, this you keep it at last priority. This, what is the weightage of items of financials? 12. What is the weightage of risk assessment? 8 to 12. Worst case 25 marks. Worst case 25 marks. Assuming that they both come in compulsory question. assuming that they both come in compulsory question only. And if they ask already 20 marks from this chapter in compulsory, do you think they will once again ask in remaining question? Remaining 80 marks is in your hand. Are you getting it? In exam, no. The mindset that you require is when you suddenly find the question, suppose you saw the first question itself, you don't know. 30 to 40% of the student who really worked hard. For example, out of 100 students who really worked hard is 20. Who really worked hard intense. 20 only, not 80. Remaining 80 just normally, casually they come. How many of you are listening effectively the class? I know. Yes or no? How many of you are carelessly, just casually listening to the class? I know. Yes or no? It will take 2 attempts for you to realize the pain. People will never realize in the first attempt the pain. They just take it casually. After losing 2 times, after seeing the social pressure, family pressure, friends, everybody succeeding in life, then they will start. Who are clever will start from the beginning. People who are dumb will start late. That's the only difference. Okay. So when you see an unknown question, don't worry about what you don't know. Remaining paper you see and try to get it. You know, recently one small decision which I took was, it costed me 5 lakhs almost. I lost 5 lakhs. 1 minute I took the decision. That's it. 1 minute. No, I know I'll lose it. Books I published, right? New books I published, right? Just before until the day also, my old books are being sold. Many are buying already. Who are watching marathons, all that. I stopped selling my old books. CA Inter have a stock of some 700 books. Out of 3000 we ordered 6 months back, 700 left. CA final books also 700 sets left. When I just do the valuation of the entire this cost, CA final set is 2.5 to 3 lakh it is coming. CA Inter is approximately 2 lakhs it is coming. 4.5. What I did, you know, those who purchased it for me from October 1st, CA final books, to all of them I gave an upgrade offer. Per order I will lose 300 rupees. Per order upgrade offer. I lose 300 rupees. Till now I think some 350 students utilized. 1 lakh they are lost. For CA Inter students also I gave an upgrade offer for with ever from January 1st. Those whoever has purchased old book, you can buy new book, because no, they will have some feeling, array, if I know this new book is coming, I could have waited and bought this new book, all that. I don't want them to feel this regret. Another 1 lakh they're lost. Not 1 lakh, maybe 70,000. Total loss is 5 to 7 lakh. Gross amount of loss. Total gross amount of loss is 5 to 7 lakh. I know that. Never worry about what you're losing. Always aspire what you're getting. What I saw there, you know, no faculty in my place will do that. What everybody will think, you know, let me sell my old books first, then I will announce about new book. That's how a normal mentality. People know if they lose 100 rupees, they spend 1000 rupees to get back that 100 rupees. That's what happens in betting. If they lose 1000 rupees, they spend 1 lakh to get back that 1000. You should always be swift in decision making in exam, in life, everywhere. In exam, you see something you don't know. It's okay, keep it aside. Next question. Don't even think about it. Don't even stress about it. In theory papers like audit, you must have that swift decision making. Arre, first question gone here, 20 marks, what to do? Oh my god, no. You have still 80 in your hand. Your minimum target score is 50 first. Minimum target is 50. Then the second target is 60. Then the second target is 70, 80. As long as 80 marks in your hand. Recently, some all India first ranker in CA final has got some 94 in audit score. Audit he scored perfection. My students scored 80 plus in audit in September attempt. So many were scored. January attempt, tough paper, 70 plus, almost some 6-7 results I posted. 70 plus they scored. How did? And for attempting 85 marks, that too. They didn't attempt 110 and then scored 72, 73. 85 they attempted and scored 72. One student in fact told me 55 attempted, 44 he got. He's not prepared well. Day before exam and all, he studied so hard, almost like 20-24 hours he studied totally. He went and finally wrote the exam. He has FM exemption. 55 or 60 marks he wrote, 44 he got. How? When people are getting 44, 45 for 50, 55, 70 for 80 marks they attempted, 90 for 100 marks attempted, can't you score 50 for 80 marks? This is the logic. Perfection is most important. Aim for perfection, which is most important. So don't worry about what you don't know. If at all suddenly you see an exam, it may be audit, it may be accounts, whatever. Remaining 80 marks, try to attempt perfectly, because rest of the paper is in your hand. Predominant paper is not in your hand means you didn't prepare well. And always try to finish one solid revision by the time mock test papers are released by ICA. Maybe sometimes you may not be. Maybe your classes might not be ready, but April 2nd week or 3rd week, try to attempt one mock test paper. Then after a week, try to solve second mock test paper. That's it. These two mock test papers are more than sufficient. You don't have to go for any other revision exams, test series, nothing, not required. Test series is very useful only for those who prepared entire syllabus already. They have nothing. They just have to revise and then go and write exam. Revise and go and write exam. But it is never a substitute for classes or self-preparation. It is never a substitute for classes. Some students often see this as a substitution of class. No, it's never a substitute for class. It's only a complementary in nature. First listen, get tremendous conceptual clarity, do revise, then go and write the test. That's how it will help you. You are all writing assignments. Sir will give you assignments, right? Some, yes or no? Daily some homework they'll give you. How many of you are reading the book, closing the book and then writing the assignment? That is what useful. Copy pasting from the book, there is no point. There is no point when you're writing assignment just as a copy paste. You're just seeing the notes and then you're writing. You're just seeing and filling the pages. No use at all. Zero. In fact, it is negative. When assignment or homework or writing practice is important, what is writing practice? It's writing practice is not like seeing the book and then writing here. That's not writing practice. Reading it thoroughly, understanding it thoroughly, closing it, and then writing it without looking at it. That is effective practice. Instead of writing, you can recollect in your mind also, which is little faster in working. All these are traditional methods. Now they don't work. I showed, no, in my attempt these things and all worked. And I showed you my attempt paper, May 2011 audit paper I showed. That time this all works because syllabus is limited. Syllabus is same only. Questioning style is limited. Easy questions. But now, over the asking, I showed all the questions in Jan paper. I showed in various papers. The questions are very complex. They're very advanced. Okay, that's it. So, the strategy I told you indirectly. What is the exam strategy that you should follow for audit? I clearly told you indirectly. Okay, this is called 3/4 preparation strategy. 3/4 means what, you know, 75 to 80% of the syllabus. You should prepare 100% accuracy. Moderate accuracy in every chapter. Simple. Moderate means what? 50 to 60%. Into 100% syllabus, 60. 100% accuracy in 80% syllabus is equal to 80. 80 is always better than 60. You're getting my point? Simple mathematical equation. 80% of the chapters you have to be always top notch. That is when you can handle any level of paper. Tough, easy, compulsory question, MCQ, doesn't matter for you. For listening classes, 100% syllabus. For descriptive part purpose, 80% syllabus. First target is 80%. You completed, you still have time, then finish remaining 20 also. Why are you taking chance? Finish remaining 20. But first 80% to 75 to 80% of the syllabus has to be 100% accurate, 100% commandable. That's it. Okay. I told you literally the entire strategy that you have to follow from here on for the upcoming May exam. Okay. I think some of you are writing September. How many of you are writing September? Okay, fine. I think May students got clarity. Same for September also. Same logic here also. That's it. Okay, fine. Let's begin the next chapter.